Potiphar, you brought this Jewish slave into our house, and you put him in charge of our household and of all that we own. Husband, you would not believe what he tried to do while you were away. He tried to dishonor me. Hearing these accusing words, Potiphar commanded, "Take Joseph out and put him in prison." Children, do you remember our journey back in time? That's right, the one to the land of Canaan 3,500 years ago? It is now time to take another trip into the past, but this time we will travel back to Egypt, the land where Joseph was a slave in the house of Potiphar, who was the captain of the palace guards. Are you ready? Okay, now we can begin. Welcome to the second story in our series, Joseph, Slave in Egypt. It had been a long and tiresome journey. Joseph and the Ishmaelites had finally arrived in Egypt. Here, Joseph met people who spoke a language he did not understand. He saw big cities, beautiful temples, huge pyramids, and even the great river, the Nile. How different this new country looked for a boy who had spent his entire life in his father's house in Israel. The Ishmaelites sold Joseph to Potiphar at the slave market. Potiphar was the captain of Pharaoh's palace guards. Back in those times, Pharaoh was the ruler of Egypt. This means Joseph became slave to one of the most powerful men in Egypt. God was with Joseph in everything he did and made him prosper. Joseph was a responsible man and did his best at all the jobs his master gave him. He was the very best at everything he did because God was helping him. God blessed Potiphar through Joseph. Potiphar saw that the Lord was with Joseph. Because of this, he came to appreciate and trust Joseph more and more. One day, Potiphar called Joseph and told him, "Joseph, you've only been in my house for a short while, but you're doing very well. I am entrusting you with everything I own, and all my servants will obey you. Only my wife and I will be over you," Potiphar finished. So Joseph was now overseeing Potiphar's entire household and fortune. Although he was still considered a slave, his master had complete trust in him and entrusted everything he owned to his care. All this time, God had not forgotten Joseph. He was quietly preparing Joseph for the times when the dreams he had given him a long time ago would become reality. Joseph had now grown and had become a handsome young man. Everyone around him loved him. But Potiphar's wife also set her eyes on Joseph and wanted him to love her. One day, while Potiphar was away on business, his wife sent word for Joseph. When Joseph came, with all her might, she grabbed him by his coat, clung to him, and would not let go. But Joseph, mustering all his strength, told her boldly, "My master Potiphar trusts me and gave me all that is his. How could I break his trust? I shall not do such a thing." Then Potiphar's wife became very angry and wanted to get revenge. When Potiphar returned home, she blamed Joseph, saying, "Potiphar, you brought this Jewish slave into our house, and you put him in charge of our household and of all that we own. Husband, you would not believe what he tried to do while you were away. He tried to dishonor me." But this wasn't true, was it? Potiphar believed his wife, causing him to burn with anger. Hearing these accusing words, Potiphar commanded, "Take Joseph out and put him in prison." Yet even in prison, Joseph did not lose hope. He knew he was innocent before the Lord, and he did not stop trusting God and believing in his faithfulness. The Lord was with Joseph in the prison. all who were imprisoned with him appreciated Joseph because of his kindness. Soon, Joseph was appointed supervisor over the other men in prison. On top of that, God blessed him with a special gift. He gave Joseph the wisdom to interpret dreams. Children, next time we meet, I will tell you what happened to Joseph while he was in prison and how he used his special gift to interpret dreams. Don't worry, God took good care of him. But I will tell you more when we continue our story. As for now, our time together has come to an end. God was with Joseph always. He was Joseph's loyal friend who always looked after him. God always responds to those who love him and believe him even when they experience difficult times. Stay tuned for our next episode if you want to find out what happens next in Joseph's life. Produced by David and Goliath Productions. You can rewatch this episode, along with the rest of this series, on YouTube on the DG Bible Stories channel. Also, you can find our series in audio format on most podcast apps. We invite you to listen to the DG Bible Songs music. You can find it on YouTube, as well as on Spotify, Apple Music, and other streaming platforms.